Hi everyone, this is modal verbs for giving advice. So we have four different types of modal verbs which are important to give advice, prohibition, and necessities and suggestions. From this definition or from these uses of modal verbs, some of the modal verbs are grouped here which are important to give advices and suggestion. So some of the modal verbs here is should, and which is ought to, and had better, and what? Must. All these are modal verbs, so which are basically important for giving advice. So let me show you the examples how these kinds of modal verbs are important to give advices and suggestions. For the first one is should. Should by itself is good to do something, yes? It's good to do something. So this is the implied meaning of the word should. So should, form of the word should is here. Should plus base form, base verb it means, which is should plus verb 1, which is base form. So should has the same meaning with it is good to do something, and the form so using should is should plus base form or base verb which is present tense, all right? Base verb which is present tense. So let me give you just examples how we use should in giving advice. Look here, should, and here is should is positive, and the negative form of should is shouldn't, yes, or should not, or shouldn't. This is the structure of using should. So here, should, which is positive, and negative shouldn't, which is long form, and this one is shouldn't, contracted or a reduced form. This is the structure or the forms of using should and giving advice, all right? So, what kind of situation is important to use shoulds? Let's hear. Yeah, today just I feel pain, so I want to go to the clinic, so I'm going to use the modal verb should in order to just treat the problem, all right? So I should, look here, I should go to the clinic, right? I should go to the clinic. Look the structure here. Should plus base form, it means. Base form is between this base form or verb 1 and the word form, no need to write any kind of words or nothing is written. So this is the form, should plus base form or verb 1. So we can use for giving advice on this structure. For here, look here, it's raining, yeah? It's raining. I should use an umbrella, yeah? An umbrella. Look the example here. It's raining, so I should use an umbrella. This is a piece of advice which I want to just save myself from raining. So the structure and the way that we use should is on this way. Should plus base verb or an infinitive verb is inappropriate to give advice. So should has such function, please. The other parts of this should here is should not, yeah? Should not plus verb 1 or base form. Look here, you should not smoke a lot. Look here, because it causes lung cancer, yeah? It causes lung cancer. It causes lung cancer. Look the structure of using should not and giving advice. So should not plus here, should plus not plus verb 1. So should not. If you write like this, you should not to smoke a lot. If you write like this is wrong sentence because the verb he doesn't take or doesn't use this an infinitive verb. That's why should not plus base verb is appropriate here. Look the sentence here. You should not smoke a lot. Why we should not smoke a lot? Because it brings lung cancer. All right? It brings lung cancer. The other example here is she should not come to college late. Yes, she should not come to college here. Should not plus base verb or an infinitive verb without to. So this is meaningful. She should not come to school, college late it means, all right? This one is the correct approach of should and should not, the negative forms of should not. The other part is ought to. Look, ought to. Modal verb with infinitives, all right? Modal verb with infinitives. Its negative form is ought not to, all right? Ought not to, which are similar meaning, similar with should. Should without to. Without to. Look here. Should and ought to, which are the same meaning in giving advice and suggestion. But the structure of this modal verb is different. Ought go with to, should doesn't go with. Ought not to, which is the negative form of ought to, unacceptable making or giving of advice if someone suffers in a problem. Right? If someone suffers in a problem, let's give me some example. Yes, you ought to, yeah. You ought to write in English. Look here. You ought to write in English have the same meaning with you should, yes. You should write in English. So the difference is what? The difference is there is an infinitive to, but in case of this one, not is written, but should plus base verb is written here. The same meaning for giving advice it means, all right? And the other example, look here. Or they should renew, yes, renew their ID card before they leave the town, yes, before they leave the town. Look the example here. They should renew their ID card before they leave the town, or they ought to renew their ID card before they leave the town. Should plus this verb one is the possible, which means yes, they should renew their ID card means it is good them to renew their ID card. Unless they renew their ID card, they do not have a possibility to enter the college or to enter to the hotel or to the conference. So should plus verb one is really an acceptable way of giving advice, especially for the structure of using should. The structure of using should. So the other example here is ought not to. Ought not to. Look this one, ought not to, which is ought not to, you ought not to. You ought not to, right? You ought not to chew gum in the classroom. You ought not to gum in the classroom. Ought not to, yes. Ought not to, or it means you shouldn't, yes. You shouldn't chew gum in the classroom. In the classroom. This is an advice, please, yeah? You ought not to chew gum in the class because it disturbs the teacher. So this is a kind of piece of advice. Ought not to and should not. The same meaning, but the structure is still different, all right? So, ought not to. And the other important part in here is had better. Had better, which is called better, or it is advisable to do something. To do something here. If not, you will be in problem. Yes? You will be in problem. It is a strong advice. Yes? Had better. It is had better. Had better means better, or we can mean had better. It is advisable to do something. If not, you will be in problem. advisable, suggestible to do something. If you do not that, you'll be in problem. This is true. So we can say that a strong advice. So it is somehow higher degree than that of should and ought to. All right? Had better. But the structure of had better means had better without to. Yes? Had better without to. Without to means no need to use an infinitive to making sentence in giving advice. Whenever you use had better. One. Second one, had by itself doesn't mean past tense. But had better is important for present and future advices. Right? This is the first and the very most important uses of had better. One. We use had better for a particular situation, yes? A particular situation. A particular situation means the problem will, if the problem will minimize, if the problem is removed, we have to change using this had better. But ought to and should, we use this as general situation. They are important to give advice in general context, but this is in a particular context. So this is the difference for should, ought to, and had better, all right? Should, ought to, and had better, it means. So had better has such a definition, such important. Then how can I use had better in giving advice? By making some example sentences. Look here. Have better, right? Have better. Yes? That's right. Look here. I have better stay here. I have better stay here. Have better. If you write like this, look here. I have better to stay here. I have better to stay here. Which one do you think is right? And which one do you think is wrong here? Because of the structure of using have better. This one is right, but this one is wrong. Because we cannot use an infinitive to between the modal verb with the base verb form here. This is completely wrong. So we cannot say or we cannot write in written forms. That's true. But the sentence that we construct had better is this one. Had better stay here means it is better for me to stay here, or it is advisable to me to stay here, then I will escape from the problem, it means. So this is the correct structure for using have better. Another example here, I feel hurt back, yeah? I feel hurt back. So I had better see a doctor, yes? I had better see a doctor here. I feel hurt, or I hurt back, or I hurt my back, it means. So what? What shall I do? What do you recommend me to do? So I had better see a doctor. Unless I go to or I visit to a doctor, the problem is still with me. Or I'm not far from the problem. Or I will not escape from my problem. The problem still go with me. So this is, if you do not just take or do or change the advice that someone give you, the problem is still with you. There will be a serious problem. It means. So that's why had better means better, or it is advisable to do something. If not, the problem is worse and worse. So this is the total uses of have better, all right? The total uses of have better. The other very important part is had better not. Had better not. Not better, it means had better not. So we cannot use look on this way. Had better not. So if you write this one in question, so we cannot say, but this is the right structure. Right? Look here. If you want to catch the first bus, the first train, you had better not stay here, right? Look the example here. If you want to catch the first train, you had better not stay here, not to stay. We cannot say not to stay here, it means, all right? Not to stay here. So this is another example here. Or she had better not eat fatty foods. fatty foods, yeah, because it brings, I know, it brings, yeah, which is called cholesterol, all right? Cholesterol or health problem. Look at it, she had better not eat fatty foods, but not, look here, she had better not to eat fatty foods. Fatty foods. If you write like this sentence is wrong, but the first sentence is right because it doesn't take this an infinitive word here. Right? So what we underline from the given sentence is whenever you use had better not and the base form of the verb doesn't precede with a kind of infinitive verbs, it's not allowed. It's not allowed to insert here. This is it better not eat. Yeah, she had better not eat fatty foods means it is not advisable to her to eat fatty foods because it brings some problems on her health. So we can say had better not, right? Had better, which is the negative forms of had better. So this is had better, ought to, and should. The other very important part still is must. Must, yes. Must is a strong obligation, a strong advice, or a strong obligation. A strong obligation, which is the same meaning, with must, should, ought to, and are better. But when we want to just give a strong advice, we use must, and strong obligation, must, and also prohibition. Yes, prohibition. This is must. The negative forms of must is must not, or mustn't. Yes, mustn't here. Must not or mustn't. Here, must plus verb 1. Example here, must study, must work, but not must studied. If you write like this, it's wrong. Yes. If you write like this, it's wrong. Here, must, which is negative form, is must not, or the contract form is mustn't. So the correct forms of must is must plus verb 1. So example is must plus verb 1, must study, must work. But if you write like this, must studied, which is completely wrong. So we cannot say, and this way we cannot write the word must on this form. So this is the correct. So you have to just focus on the correct structures of must, should, ought to, had better. So you first understand when do we use must? What is the correct structure of using must in giving advice and giving strong obligation, and to express about prohibition, you can just use this one on this way. As I think, yeah. So I'll give you some questions, then you are going to practice by yourself using these modal verbs to give advice. So let's come back to you. Must, yeah, must. Yeah, look here, the bedroom is dirty, so I must clean it. Yes, I must clean it. Right, must plus clean. The bedroom is dirty, so I can't just, I don't want to enter my bedroom, so it's not attractive, it's not decorated. Every just piece of papers are on my bedroom and somewhere on the sofa, so it must be just what's good. So I must clean it. Yeah, I must clean it. So must plus verb 1, which is strong advice. All right, strong advice. And the other is every student must study hard. Look here, every student must study hard, since the curriculum is new or the textbook is new to them. So every student must study hard. When you say just must study, means every student should give emphasis for their course or the content or the subjects they are studying, they are learning. So must study hard. So must plus study, an appropriate structure, an appropriate use of must for giving strong advice or for giving a strong obligation. Must has a strong sense or a strong meaning. So we can use must on this way. Look here. Every student should what? Or must wear school uniforms. Every student must wear. Look here. Every student must wear school uniforms. Since they are students, so they must wear school uniforms. So this is a strong advice and a strong obligation. So we sometimes do not use ought to and should in this case because the situation itself needs a strong advice and a strong obligation. So that is true. That is true. Must not. Yes, we mustn't. We must not. Yes, we must not throw rubbish in the compound. Yeah? In the compound. Look the example here. We mustn't throw, yes? We mustn't throw rubbish in the compound because it makes the compound dirty. So must not, prohibition, all right? Prohibition. The other example with must not here. Must not. We mustn't, every student, look here. Every student mustn't jump over the fence. Look here. Every student mustn't jump over the fence. He or she will miss rules of the school. So mustn't. It is prohibited. Jumping from over the fence. Prohibition means must not plus verb 1. True. On the whole, we can just use should, ought to, had better, and must. And this can take us. Let me summarize, please. Yeah. Let me summarize. Must, which is the negative form is must not or mustn't. And should here, negative form is here shouldn't. And ought to, ought not to. And had better not. This one is the positive form, and this one is what? The negative forms of these modal verbs. So the structure of this is what? Should plus verb 1 and ought to plus verb 1 and had better plus verb 1 and here must plus what? Verb 1. This is the correct rule or forms of these modal verbs when we use this in giving advice and suggestions. Look here. Look the examples here. Which one do you think is the correct structure? Yeah. You should to study hard, or second example, you should study hard, and the other, you ought to study hard, and here you ought study hard, and the other, or here you had better to study hard, and then you must to study hard. Look this one. This will be the summary of the lesson. So which one do you think is right here? And identify the word and the idea which makes the statement wrong. You should to study hard. Is it possible to say or write like this? Is it possible to give advice to someone if you make a sentence all this way? Yes? No, you cannot write it because this infinitive makes the statement wrong, so this is wrong sentence. Second, you should study hard. That's right. Right sentence because should plus base verb or an infinitive verb or first verb or verb 1. Acceptable structure. The third one, you ought to study hard. Modal verb with an infinitive. This is true and unacceptable and possible ways of giving advice. The other, you ought to study hard. Do you think this is right? It misses one thing. There is no an infinitive verb here, so it is still a wrong sentence, so we cannot write like this. You are better to study hard. Do you think this sentence is right? I don't think this is right because there is an infinitive verb between the base form and the modal verb, so it makes the statement wrong, so we cannot write on this way. The other, you must study hard. As I explained before, must plus base verb is true, but in this case, there is a bar infinitive too, so it makes the statement wrong, so we cannot write on this way. So the correct sentence in using these modal verbs are the two, so you have to just having these examples, you have to just practice by yourself and try to just give these modal verbs in giving advice in any context. Yes, thank you very much.